Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. I had a great time at Goals 2025 in Knoxville this past weekend. Just got back late last night and it was so humbling and amazing to meet so many of you. So thank you to everyone who made it, brought me coffee, brought gifts for Liberty Toddler, the whole nine. You guys are the reason this channel even exists. Now unfortunately, I do seem to have picked up a cold in the process, so I apologize for not being at my usual level of enthusiasm. But speaking of enthusiasm, before I dive in, I did still have my cup of Blackout coffee this morning. Blackout is an amazing company founded on conservative values, defending the Second Amendment, hard work, and personal responsibility. All of their coffee beans are sourced directly from farmers, roasted daily down in sunny Florida, and between their flavored coffee, their instant coffee, their light and dark roast, and their partner roasts that directly help your favorite gun rights groups, they have over 30,000 5-star reviews. And every purchase you make through my link also helps keep the channel here running, so to help support the channel and make America awake again, go to blackoutcoffee.com/LibertyDoll, and if you haven't already, you can use code LibertyDoll for a one-time 20% discount. Now, I've been following the Sig drama pretty closely for you guys over here, and while I was in Knoxville, we had another big twist. And that is that the Air Force has arrested someone in connection with the July 20th death of Airman Braden Lovin at F.E. Warren Air Force Base. At the time, the story was that the young man's Sig M18 went off in the holster when he sat it on a desk, shooting him in the chest. The incident led Air Force Global Strike Command to put a pause on using the M18, and in some cases, it seemed to be the straw that broke the camel's back, in that even though there were a lot of folks stepping away from the SIG beforehand, after that we saw a domino effect where various police departments, training organizations, ranges, and competitions all said, no more SIG P320 and its variants. We've probably all seen the videos of uncommanded discharges at this point, or I'll say alleged, because there's some people that still don't believe it and are on the fence here. But we've heard about the various reports, and you might have seen the video of the Wyoming Gun Project getting it also to go off on a desk. Whether you believed the initial story of the Airman or not, the glaring issue here was, well, why was the gun pointed at the Airman's chest to begin with? And remember when there was that story of the town official shooting a teenager in the face, and he also claimed uncommanded discharge? I had the same question. Why was the gun pointed at someone's face at all? In that case, there was speculation that the alleged issue with the 320 was used as a scapegoat in the shooting. Well, it appears the same thing may have happened here. So on Friday, the Air Force confirmed that they have charged another airman in connection to the death. As per an emailed statement, the investigation has progressed and an individual has now been arrested on suspicion of making a false official statement, obstruction of justice, and involuntary manslaughter. As with all individuals accused of a crime, the person arrested in this case is presumed to be innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So far, the suspect has not been named, but with the charge specifically of involuntary manslaughter, it looks like investigators have pivoted to a negligent discharge by whoever the suspect is. An attorney for the family says the Air Force is still looking for answers, and the service's Office of Special Investigations is still investigating the death. We do have a couple more details about the incident itself, however, and that's that the airman who was shot was in fact on duty. He was a remote targeting engagement systems operator, and the incident happened around 1:30 a.m. Since the incident, Air Force Global Strike Command paused use of the pistols, as I said, and Security Forces airmen with the command were issued M4 carbines to replace their M18s. The Air Force then ordered service-wide inspections of its M18 pistols to validate the serviceability of weapons and reinforce confidence in their use, and barred the use of the pistols until units could get refresher training. The Army, Navy, and Marines, however, did not pause the use of the pistols. So SIG might have found some vindication here, but that still leaves all the other claims, lawsuits, videos, and investigations that police departments and training groups are doing on their own. I've also been told by several people that there is a quality control issue where in parts for the 9mm and the 40 can get mixed up and dropped into the wrong gun at the factory. Whether or not that's true, I don't know, but I have had enough people tell me at this point that it's possible that maybe it's a factor here. My specialty is clearly the laws and the culture around the pew-pews, not the individual moving parts of the pew-pews, so take that with a grain of salt. Now, the Global Strike Command pause is still ongoing, and so are those inspections of all roughly 125,000 M18s. Does this negate all the other claims? I don't think so, but it does lend credence to the theory that at least some of these folks might be using the controversy as a scapegoat. Now, I'll keep following the SIG drama and bringing you updates on it. Again, a huge thank you to GOA for inviting me out to speak at Goals and being such gracious hosts, and to Ammo Squared for holding a meet and greet for me, and to each and every person who stopped me to say hello. Yes, I know I am short. Sorry. Sorry to everyone who had to hunch down for their photos. It was a really surreal experience being surrounded by all of these big shots with their high-tech videos and their production teams and assistants and whoever else, and being behind a stage with a full production team and monitors and sound checks and stuff, by the way. And yet people still wanted to talk to little old me, just a lady that complains about the government and gun control on the internet, while sometimes my toddler yeets herself into the frame, and my only staff is my buddy that edits my videos when he gets home from work at night. So it was a really wild ride. So to everyone I met, thank you, and for helping me feel welcome there, and those that missed me, hopefully I can catch you next time. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe out there and happy shooting.